The two Aston Martins of Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel starting from the pit lane. They remove the fuel, they put it back in again, and that's why they're starting from the pit lane, because it was something they had to do outside the time limit to get their cars to the grid. It's the first ever Miami Grand Prix. We're racing in the States and it's lights out, away we go. And it's a great reaction from Charles Leclerc. It's a decent reaction from Max Verstappen, but Carlos Sainz is ahead of him. Leclerc into the first turn. It's wheel to wheel, Verstappen and Sainz. Sainz has just lost out to Verstappen, who makes up into second place. Perez in fourth place, and then comes Valtteri Bottas, and then comes Pierre Gasly. Lewis Hamilton under pressure from Fernando Alonso in the Alpine. Great start for Max Verstappen. He's made up a place. Ferrari 1-2 is now a 1-3 with a Red Bull sandwiched in between. On board with Lewis Hamilton, chasing Fernando Alonso, who has shown great defence. Remember last year in Hungary to Lewis Hamilton, but has he got the defence this time around? Doesn't look like he has. Lewis Hamilton making his way up into seventh place, and the way that the Mercedes breezed past the Alpine on that particular occasion will be of great encouragement.
There's a great fight for P14 and 15 with this year's Williams driver Alex Albon and the guy who got him this year's Williams drive, George Russell.
They're going for it. Max Verstappen on the inside has got Charles Leclerc and has taken the lead. DRS helping out the Red Bull, extra pace helping out the Red Bull. The leaders swap round on lap 9 here. Verstappen ahead of Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is pitting, the man who started this race on pole, overtaken by Max Verstappen, coming in for a pit stop on lap 25.
They need this to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be good. And it is good so far, and there's your way. Super work by Red Bull Racing there.
Now we see Carlos Sainz come in. So what he needs is a nice, straightforward stop, getting back in the race, somewhere around Sergio Perez.
Perez, I think I saw a Red Bull just come past as well. Perez is in two.
There he is. Hard tyres going on for the top four. Fernando Alonso on the inside, locks up, couldn't really stop himself.
I think he closed the door in the last minute.
Alonso gets a 5-second penalty for that contact down into turn one with Gasly, which I think is fair enough.
Carlos Sainz, who is another having a pretty lonely race. Third place, and oh dear, Lando Norris has made contact with the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. Sebastian Vettel slows down to avoid any further issues. And you know how things can change in a street race. Very, very quickly, we have a virtual safety car. Lando Norris is out of this race, and in the blink of an eye, suddenly things might just get more dramatic.
Yeah, this works into George Russell's hands a treat. So Aston Martin too plays beautifully into their hands. Anybody who's yet to stop will take advantage. So 16 seconds lost under the virtual safety car.
Ted Kravitz, down to you.
Checo's pitting, and Mercedes are also getting ready. Must be for Lewis Hamilton, and it's the soft tyres.
So Gasly had gone wide through there, then wide again. In fact, he has backed off, hasn't he? And somehow he's not realised that Lando's coming through. And the tyre comes off like a polo mint. Luckily, stays within the confines of the racetrack.
Safety car deployed. They
have to.
Yep.
I'm out, boys. Yes, mate. Sorry about that. I didn't want to say.
As we go racing here in Miami once again, and out in front is Verstappen from Leclerc, behind Carlos Sainz defending against Sergio Perez. Valtteri Bottas right behind these two, waiting to pick up the scraps. Behind Bottas comes Hamilton, and then Russell. Behind Russell, Alonso, Schumacher and Ocon in 10th. Russell wants to go the long way round here. This is a great battle between the two Mercedes drivers, and Valtteri Bottas has gone wide. That's allowed Lewis Hamilton to slip through and up into 5th place, and George Russell follows him and up into 6th.
Look how close then Leclerc is again, within 0.4 of a second, a new fastest lap of the race. He has been completely energised by that safety car.
It's given him a chance that he thought had gone and passed him after Max Verstappen had passed him in the early part of the race. Half a second between Verstappen and Leclerc, just a few car lengths. Same half a second between Sainz and Perez, 3rd and 4th, and the same half a second between Hamilton and Russell, the two Mercedes drivers, in 5th and 6th.
You don't know where to look for the next race. It's going on all through the remaining 17 runners, but Leclerc then really beginning to smell victory here, isn't he?
Leclerc almost squeezing past down into turn 11, and this is why the two Mercedes got past the Alpha. Bottas going wide and hitting the concrete.
Yeah, almost into the wall there, wasn't he? And there was the move then, and Lewis really, oh, that's off the road. He had to yield it. George had to yield it. But did he?
But did he yield it? And then did he repass after yielding? Perez is close and getting closer and has got DRS and is going to go for it down the inside into turn 1, but he's outbraked himself. They made the briefest of contacts possibly, but Sainz had the awareness just to move to the left, allow Perez to go through. He locked up his brakes. Sainz said thank you very much, and that's the first attack from Sergio Perez survived for the Ferrari. Here's Sebastian Vettel. Why did he spin? Well, he was going for the move there on the Haas of Mick Schumacher. Schumacher came back at him down the inside, and that is why Sebastian Vettel spun and Mick Schumacher hitting him.
Which gap was that? I didn't see that. And that's it, I guess.
You can't be mates as Formula One drivers, you just can't.
I mean, that's clearly my corner.
Meanwhile, let's show you what happened with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, in the DRS, Lewis covers the inside. George says, well, I'll just go around the outside instead then.
Max Verstappen started 3rd on the grid. He is going to turn that into victory after passing Leclerc on the road to take the lead. He has held on to that lead, and Max Verstappen wins in Miami to come home first once again and extend the run that whenever he sees the checkered flag this season, he goes on to take victory. Charles Leclerc, for the first time in his career, will stand on the podium in the United States. Carlos Sainz makes it a 2-3 for Ferrari. Sergio Perez shares the spoils in the top 4. It's Red Bull and Ferrari once again that take the top 4 positions.
Yes! Oh, what a race, mates. That was nice. Tough one, but really good.
And Max Verstappen picking up another win to add to his tally in 2022. And it's time to spray the fizzy stuff, the sparkle, here at the Dolphin Stadium, at the Hard Rock Stadium. Our first venture to Miami for a Formula One Grand Prix. And it's Red Bull who emerge on top.